This is part 5 of modeling for Blender Challenge 12, Health and Medical. And I want to mention that there's some just incredible modeling going on over in the Discord. If you have a look at the Challenge 12 whips, some really, really good stuff. However, I want to remind you that this is a challenge open for everybody. And beginners are welcome to do your thing and to learn some Blender and then put your stuff up there. Okay, so feel free to join the challenge and just have some fun. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work on med device or medical device number 2. And I'm going to work on this thing here. And again, this is my main reference image, so some of it might differ from what is really there based on what I can see and what I can do. All right, so I'm going to start off with the default cube this time. I'm going to scale this in the Y a little bit. I'm going to push this down. Maybe I'll pull this out a little bit. Just a rectangle, nothing more. Okay, so in edge selection, I'm going to select these edges. I'm holding down Shift and I'm clicking on those, and I'm going to press Control B, and I'm going to pull, and then I'm going to roll my mouse up 1, 2, 3. So I've got 5 edges. I got one right in the middle there. And that's generally what I like to do. Shift Alt and click the top, Shift Alt and click the bottom. And I'm going to do this again, but I'm going to watch up here to make sure that my edges don't cross. I don't want to pull so much that they go like that. Alright, I don't want too much of a bevel. And it doesn't have to be equal. Something like that's probably fine. I'm not going to worry right now about shading smooth or anything. Just want to have another look at this, and I think maybe it's a little bit long. So I'm going to come into wireframe. Instead of just scaling it globally, which I could do that. Yeah, maybe I will do that actually. I was afraid of changing my curvature by doing that, but all right, let's just go with that, like there. Okay, so there's my front. In fact, I'm going to take this and I'm going to rotate Z 90. I'm just going to turn it like that. So there's the front. Okay. Let's select that face. So I can Shift S, cursor selected, bring my 3D cursor right there. I'm going to bring in another cube and go into edit mode and scale it down. I want to make these parts here. And, you know, I don't know how much of this is geometry or what. But I'm going to go ahead and do that as geometry, I guess I can say. So I'm just shaping this roughly to the way I want it, and positioning it roughly where I would want it as well. All right. I'm going to look from the front wireframe. I just want that inserted a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and in edge selection, select this edge, hold Shift, that one, and this one, and I want to round these a little bit. Control B. I'm going to go ahead and leave the same number of edges as I had for this 5. So those are a bit rounded. So I've got that. I'm going to come back and set the origin of geometry. Shift S, cursor is selected. So my 3D cursor is right in the middle, so I can mirror this across. Set origin of the 3D cursor and mirror it to the other side, so I can do 2 of them. What looks like little handles. They might be angled a little bit, and it looks a little bit like they are angled. And so I'm going to come in here. I think I'll do this in wireframe. And I think I'm going to rotate this down. And actually, it kind of looks like it doesn't fully go in. Let's just see what happens if I boolean there. You know what I might do? Let's try normal. Yeah. It's not gonna do it for me. Well, let's try it there and see what it looks like. Boolean. This. I'm just gonna go ahead and apply that and have a look. So I get that effect. Let's put on a bevel. Not gonna do much, is it? We're starting to shade smooth here. Yeah. Well, let's see if this takes a bevel or not. It does. Okay, let's back out and select those. And select these. And do that again. Let's come back here now. Alright, let's switch this to angle. Okay, well, I can probably live with that. Okie dokie. Up top, let's select that face and bring the cursor there and have a look at what we're going to do. Now, this is likely a decal or a stencil, and I believe this piece is probably repeated around in different parts of this alien isolation environment. But I'm going to do this as geometry as well. Yeah, so I'm going to cut it. I'm going to destroy this. So let's go ahead and bring in a plane. And scale it down. Okay, so a little bit rectangular. Grab this piece here, pull it out, do another one there. Maybe we'll do by the same time. So let's go for something like that, and let's go Shift D, bring it over, and grab this edge, pull it in, and maybe we'll make this one a little bit longer. Pull them over to the roughly central. Bring them up a bit. Press number 1 to go into vertex selection, or you can click right there, select it all, and zoom in a bit. Shift Control B this time. Pull. And how round do I want these? Maybe about there. So I've still got 5. And we'll round them more like that. Now for this one, what I want to do, see, I might go in, I'm just going to go ahead and extrude this up like that. And I think I will try rounding the bottoms, these, or beveling. Let's see if I like, well, no, I don't need to do that actually, the more I think about it. And you'll see why soon. Let's go ahead and push these in. This one I want to go deeper down. So let's just focus on those. And I have that one selected. I'm going to pull that one down. Give myself quite a lot of room. A lot of cutting room. Let's go ahead and select this. And I got that stuff on. That may change very, very soon. As soon as we do this, I'm going to move the Boolean to the top, leave it on difference, select this. I'm going to go ahead and apply that and take this and just hide it for now. So I've got this. I'm going to put some stuff in there and something else there. Alright, let's go Alt-H and bring that back. Let's get rid of those. And let's take this and let me think here. Let's just grab the tops of these Control I, X faces. That inverts the selection. And now I just have this. And if I take both of these, let me try just an I to inset. Come in a little bit. Want to be careful with insetting again because you can get crossing like that. And so actually what I think I'm going to do is work on this one first. I want a bit of a frame, so I'm going to press E and S instead. Now that may come in a different amount. You can see this is a little bit thicker than this, so I'm going to scale in the Y, SY to make them roughly equal. And that's kind of what I want. So I got to X faces and I have to do it again. So I got that. With this one, I might just inset a little bit. Just like this. X faces. So I got those. Let's bring them down and just sort of imagine they're there. Yeah, so let's extrude them up a little bit. So I have those pieces. Now, actually, I probably want to extend this one down in. And I might pull that up, but we'll get to that in a bit. Let's Shift Alt and click that outer edge and this outer edge. Just for the moment, let's just bevel those. Control B. I'm going to leave it where it was at 5. And yeah, I think I'm going to take this edge here, pull it down, all the way down till it goes in. So it looks like a bowl of some sort. Not really a bowl, but hopefully you get what I'm talking about. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bevel this. Like that. And I'll shade smooth, but we'll work on the stuff later. Actually, no, let's not. Oh, how do you do that? Oh, I don't want to do that. Oh, shade flat. Did I do anything? No. What do I want to do for this one? For this one, I'm going to take this and I'm going to pull it up. I don't want it that deep. Like that. And I'll go ahead. Stop saying go ahead, go ahead. Everyone says that. I will bevel this like that. I don't think about this one later. All right, now we can go ahead. Now we can, let's do bevel. Just leave it. And let's add weighted normal and auto smooth and come back to the bevel right here and switch it to angle. Looks okay, I hope. And I'm going to put some pieces inside there. Let's see if I grab that face. Shift S cursor selected. So bring the 3D cursor there. And bring in another plane. Bring it up. Scale it in the Y. Okay. Again, I'm not trying to recreate this exactly. I couldn't do that. So I'm just going to do my own thing here. I'm going to do this, but I think I'll scale even the Y a bit. Focus just on this. Press 3 and select that face. Hold Shift to select that one and that one. X faces. They're not going to be seen, so I don't need them. I'm going to bevel this by hand. I'm going to select this edge and this edge. Control B and pull. I guess I'm just going to leave 5 each time. Okay, I can shade smooth that. Press the slash key to bring it back. Push it in. In edit mode, scale in the X, make sure it goes in. But I'm going to rotate these. So I'm going to set the origin to the geometry. So my gizmo's right there. I'm even going to edit mode. And I'm going to rotate this around the X a little bit. Just want to do something like that. Okay. So I got that piece. So that's pretty long. Scale that in the X. Okay, I'm going to use the array function to make a whole bunch of these. So press array in the Y direction. So just grab the Y here and just go this way or that way till you figure it out. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to set this to 0 in the X, so it's just in the Y. Add a bunch of these and then just start looking at it, and I can come back a little bit to tighten it up. And I'm going to get that, and that's what I want to do. Okay, so I can see inside a little bit. All right, well, okay. What have I got going on here? I just selected a little piece and went Control L to select all of it. I'm just thinking that not sure I like this. I'm just thinking about pulling it down and having it slightly different. And I don't know if I should have done it as one piece. I'll leave that there for a while. And let's go on and do some of the front stuff. So there's this dial here, and I'm going to cut in. And I'm just doing this in plain Blender. So select that, Shift S, cursor selected. You use box cutter and stuff, make it a little bit easier, but let's just bring in a cylinder, leave it as the default values, which is 32 vertices, rotate X 90, look for the front, press S, and just get the approximate size for this. So it's pretty big, you know, a little bit of space at the top and the bottom. I don't know, it's probably equal, so I'm going to do it equal. Put it about there. Bigger, nice big knob. I need room for a handle there and there, and so I'm probably okay with that. And let's look from the side and in wireframe. So that's a bit deep for what I need, so I'm just gonna come to about there. That's all. Should be all right. Okay, so now I got this set up, so I'm gonna select. Let's just make sure that it's facing the right way. The orientation, yeah, okay. That's important for doing a Boolean. Select the main body, choose Boolean. I'm going to pull this up to the top, leave it on difference with the eyedropper, select that, and go ahead and apply it, and let's make sure that it took, and it did. And yeah, we can go ahead and bevel this. So Shift Alt and click that edge, make sure nothing else is selected. And because these are coming off perpendicular, I should be able to bevel this pretty easily. You know, I could come out pretty far. Okay, so I get a nice little hole. I'll bring this piece back and I'll use this piece. Scale this into Y. Alright, that'll come back into there. Alright, so let's focus on that. We'll get rid of this back face. Bring everything else back and just create that dial. Alright, I'm going to do it as one piece. So we'll select that face, press I to inset, and come in a ways to make this black area. Now we'll make that silver part. I think I'll extrude out like that. Press I to inset, come in again, and then to make this black area here, I'm just going to go back in a bit. Let's just drop it in like that. Okay. I'm going to put a subdivision surface on this, but first I will Shift Alt and click that sharp edge and this one, and pressing Shift and Alt and do that one as well. Control B. I don't need 5. I'm going to roll my mouse back to 0. I'm going to try 1, and I'm going to go Control 2 and shade smooth, and it goes a little crazy, so we're going to add just a few more edge loops here. One there. I'll put one there. Not sure that one was necessary. For this middle part here, I'm just going to select it, I to inset and pull it in. That's probably okay. I may pull this out and might scale it a little bit bigger. And then, you know, we've got it in a little hole. Let me double check about that. No, I don't want to pull it out. I actually want it in. I pull it till this part here is just a little bit extending. I think that's more what I want. I could even push it in a bit more. We'll see. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I want to make some holes here and here, here and here for these silver handles. So I'm going to steal a circle from there, just any one, that one. Shifty, slide it out. P, selection, break it out. Oops. So I've got that ring right there. I'm going to shut off the subdivision surface. Look from the front, scale it down, get the approximate size I would want for a hole in the position. Just looking at this part here. Yeah, it's over a little bit. Maybe there. I'm going to extrude back a little ways. And in wireframe, I'm going to look to see that it's inside a bit, and then I'm just going to step back and look at that and look at the size of that hole and the position, and it's probably okay there. Double check it. Yeah, okay. Let's try and see if I set the origin of 3D cursor. Let's see if it's still roughly centered. Yeah, everything looks good. Let's just Shift D and copy those down to here as well. Now, the top of this is roughly there. The bottom of this is roughly there. Let me see if that's how it looks. That circle looks a little bit bigger. So what I might do, see if I can bring these down a bit. See if I can bring these up a bit. And again, it doesn't have to be the exact same. Let's apply that mirror and select that, and Control J, and we'll join them to one piece. I'm going to try this. Okay, so let's select the main body here. Let's save. Boolean, drag it to the top. Difference with the eyedropper, select one of these, and we'll apply. Take these and hide them. And we do have some indents. So now we come in, let's have a look. Okay, these booleans can be pretty ugly, or they can be not bad. I mean, again, this is coming off perpendicular, straight there, perpendicular, 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 and this straight one's perpendicular. So that's pretty good, at least in terms of booleans. Now, when I Shift, Alt, and click, I get more than the circle. So I'm just going to hold down Shift, and I can take them out of my selection. I'll probably have to do that a few times. So I'm just going to see how well she goes here. Okay, so I got that. I'm holding down Shift and Alt, and I get that. So I got everything selected. And I'm going to zoom in on just one of them. And Control B. And we're going to pull and roll my mouse up. I want a good number. One. There's one. Just like that. Let's see how she looks. Obviously, these bevels catch a bit more light, and so that's why I do them. Okay, it's still looking okay. Sometimes you can turn that off and see. But that's okay. I hope that's deep enough. I think it will be. Now what I want to do is I'm going to select this face here and bring my 3D cursor there. And I'm going to bring in a plane. Press 1 to go to vertex selection. And they're all selected. M, merge by distance. M, merge at center. Sorry, merge at center. Look from the side. I've got a single point there. And pull it in a bit. E to extrude. Come out. I'm making the handle. Now, how far out is it going to come? It's going to come out past, I think, where this is. Okay, it comes out a nice distance. So let's come out to maybe about there. All this can be adjusted. Let's E and bring it down. Go to wireframe, and I should be able to see. There's my hole. Just bring it back a bit. Extrude. Bring it in. I don't really care that it's the same position as the other one. Okay, to make that into a nice rounded handle, I'm going to select that vertex. Hold down Shift. Select that one. Shift Control B. Pull. And I'm going again for my 5 dots. I want to have 1 dot kind of right in the middle of the curve. So I got that. Okay, that's pretty thin, so we're going to convert that to a curve. Convert to curve, and then come over to the curve icon under Geometry and Bevel, and hold down Shift so you don't move too quick, and pull to the right until you start getting some thickness. And shade smooth, and just start looking at this. This one maybe not exactly centered, so let's look from now. Just look on an angle. It's really not that bad, but if I wanted to, I could just box select all of these and pull it up a little bit. That looks okay. Let's just get a sense for how thick these are. Man, my holes were a little bit big. I may be stuck. Let's just go for 0.06. And I'm just going to leave it like that. Holes were a little bit big. That's fine. Look from the front. I'm going to Shift D, and I'm just going to copy it over to here and duplicate it. I think they need to come out more. So let's look, Control 3. Let's select both of them. Yeah, Control 3. Go into edit mode. I'm going to do this in wireframe. Box select here. And pull out. Curve is a little bit tight. I think it's going to be okay. Let's just bring in a plane. Rotate X90. Scale it in the Z. Just press G to manipulate it. Figure out how high it's got to go. So it's kind of in the middle of that and a bit above the circle, which I made this a little bit big. I could reduce the size of that, but I don't really want to. I'm just going to place this. I'm going to go with that. All right, so let's see here. A tiny bit rounded the edges, and maybe, yeah, that's all right there. Number 1. Shift Control B, pull. I could go for probably 3. So I got 3 vertices here. Let's just extrude it back, and let's set the origin of geometry. I'm going to pull this back in, and I'm just going to think about this now. What is it? What is I want to do? I don't think I want to cut in for this part, so what I'll do is what will I do? I want to make a cutaway to fit the buttons. I'm going to zoom in on this. Okay, so very first, I want to cut in and then place 3 buttons there. So the way I'm going to do this is, let's try E and S. Let's see if I can make a nice enough region there. How roughly equal on each side. I could do that. Let's just extrude this back like that. Okay, now we need to bevel this. I probably should have used 5 points. It might have been looked a little nicer. Control B. I think I am going to roll my mouse back up. Pull these so I can do that. Let's try shade smooth. Let's also try just a quick bevel to help. And then weighted normal and auto smooth. In the bevel again, let's do angle. All right, so I could probably get rid of this back face here. Pull this in. I don't believe it needs to stick out too far. Just a little bit. Hopefully it's not even too round. And hopefully it's big enough too. You know what? It's a chunkier thing, and it comes down to about 1/3 of that, which it actually is, but just based on the size of everything, I'm going to make this a little bit more rectangular. And the way I'm going to do that is go into wireframe mode 1 for vertex, box select all of this, and then just pull it down. Now, but I want these buttons to be more rectangular. And so I'm going to grab all of this middle stuff, and I'm going to scale this in the Z. And I might scale it in the X a little bit too. Okay, and I'll go with that. All right, I might do some more work, we'll see. All right, let's set the origin of geometry on this guy, and cursor selected, and let's bring in a plane and make a little button. Really simple, but sometimes dimensions are, a little bit off. Or more than a little. I wanted a long button, and really I could just do them at the same time, probably. Let's see what happens if I do that. Control L, Shift D. Doesn't quite fit yet. So probably twice or 2/3. This one actually probably could come back in a little bit. Select a little bit of each of them. Control L. I could probably start with that and then just scale them all down. Let's start with that. Let's extrude out. And I'm in individual origins still, so I can press S and it'll scale them in like that. Just gonna do that. And then I take this one and just slide it over just a little bit up. I think what I want to do though is delete these back faces and select all these outer edges, and I think I want to extrude back a straight part, and I'm going to try bevel 0.01 maybe, and shade smooth, weighted normal, oops, auto smooth, and let's try bringing them back in and seeing if I like them. That's probably all right. Yeah, okay. And then there's this. I think what I'll do is let's borrow this, bring it down. Let's see if I can get away with this. How far down does it come? Oh, it's far higher than that hole there. All right, so let's go in a wireframe. Well, first of all, I want to do something like this anyhow, because I want a small hole in there. And that actually works out quite well for me. It may come farther in fact, I'm just looking at the distance here. I think it's pretty similar. I think I might do that. So it's not going to make much of a difference though. And I come awfully close. Nah, whatever. Yeah, I think I'll use that like that. And then what I'll do is I'm just going to bring in a UV sphere. And I'll change this to 24 and I don't know, 8 I guess. Scale it down. I'll use this as a bit of a sliding knob here. Let's just look from the side. Let's rotate X90 and bring it out. Scale it down again. I'm going to look in wireframe and I'm going to box select. Let's see. Let's box select that. Get rid of those. Take these and E and S, and I'm just gonna make a little thing like that. Yeah, I'll do that, and then I'll take this and I'm gonna come out a couple to there. E and S. I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna pull that in and scale it in F, and I'm going to control 1. I might have to do more. Just put an edge loop here, and I think for this middle part I'm just going to inset like that, and I want something like that, and see if that's big enough. Kind of want to make it bigger. That's what I was thinking of. Although maybe I would do something, just one or something. Do that, do something like that. That's all. Yeah. It's a little sliding dial. Let's use that to make a few very simple bolts or screws or whatever. Press P to break it out so it's its own object, and set the origin of geometry on that. Take off the subdivision surface. Press the period key to focus on that. F to make a face, E to extrude back, X, delete those back faces, and Control B. And you know what? I'm going to put in 1 or 2, and I am going to put on a subdivision surface. Actually, I'll press I to inset, you know, so I'll make it a bit thicker. So I certainly have some polys going on here, but I'm not too worried because it's just a static scene. So, you know, and I could use Substance Painter to do bolts. I just feel like doing them in geometry. So they're not very exciting. They're not, you know, real. They're just sort of, you know, circles. But hopefully you'll get the point across. I'm just copying these down and see. Yeah, you know, that's okay. So let's Shift D and G, pull that in. I can make that a bit bigger if I wanted to have some difference. That's okay. Duplicate it over to here. Take the both of them and duplicate them down. I'll switch over to the cavity shader now. Let's check. Okay, select those, Alt N, recalculate outside, and the bolts too, all over the place. This one, all of them. You can just select everything, go in, Alt N, recalculate outside. Okay. Alright, what else do I need to do? Okay, I got some bolts there. Do I need any up here on this thing? We'll see. I'm going to look from the side here. And let's see. I'm going to select this vertex. Shift S cursor selected. Bring in a cylinder. I'm going to leave the default values. Scale it down. Rotate Y 90. I want to make these okay. Let's try this. We'll just, I think I'm just going to copy them. I want it a little bit away from this edge here. Let's just go for that. Like that. Control J. So I got those. And because this is a little bit of an odd shape now, I think I am just going to duplicate these and see roughly how far I came in. So I'm in between, in the middle of that second one, sort of. Made sense. Kind of there. Okay, so I'm going to join all of that stuff here, save, and we're going to do a Boolean again. Select the main body, Boolean, bring it to the top, it's on difference. Select these guys, and go ahead and apply. I'm going to hide them, and now I'm going to do a little bit of work on this. I want to do some beveling. Now, here is the thing, okay? This is where it gets kind of ugly. This edge is coming right across, okay? It's coming off of that one there. So I want to make some changes to this. So I'm going to look on the side, and I'm just going to say, well, you need some support. I'll give you some support somewhere else. So for this guy, I'm going to press the knife tool. I'm going to select a point here, and I'm going to come across, press C to go straight. So I'll join you there instead, and dissolve that edge. I'm not crazy about this one either. Let's just have a look at how it would bevel. I'll change my clipping sometime. Let's just have a look. That's not too bad. So I could leave that. Okay, so I got to do that. These ones are probably okay. These ones are probably okay. This one is a bit of a nightmare. I mean, this one and this one's okay. This thing here actually is going to get in the way. When I select that and I start pulling out, I'm going to hit that edge. And so I'm just going to make a change for this guy, this edge here. So I'm going to look from the side, and I'm going to choose, you know, this vertex here. Press C, click there, space bar to end it. Select this edge, and I should be able to dissolve it. So now I can bevel this better. Okay. And come the other side. I'm just going to do the same thing real quick. Okay, so I have chosen where I want my edges to some extent, rather than just letting Blender do it. And that way I can control things. I should be able to control things a little bit better. So I'm going to start now selecting all the outside edges. If I get anything else, I'm going to deselect it. Okay, so the S is a little bit crazy here. I'm going to select there, deselect this stuff. Select here, deselect this stuff. I think I got everything on that side, and I'm going to come over to the other side and do the same thing. Do it all together. Okay, so I've got everything selected, and I am going to Control B, and let's just have a look. Let's scroll to 0, 1, 2, 3, and let's look around. Let's go back to object mode. Okay. We're okay. I think we're okay. All right. I've been in individual orders. Let's go here. Let's have a look at the statistics. 18,000. Okay. I'm all right with this. All right. So let's now make sure we're saved. How do I want to do this? You know, obviously, you're probably going to do this. So, in a paint program, but I'm gonna do some bolts. Let's bring this here. Let's try this. Let's bring it a cube. Let's blow some more polys here. Let's make it look better though. Let's Control 2. Let's set the origin on that. Just focusing on that. Where am I? Look from the front. I'm going to put an edge loop down here, and in wireframe I'm going to delete this back stuff here. So I have this. I'm going to apply that. I'm going to scale it bigger, and let's see. Let's see what I want to do. I think I'm going to straighten these scale Y 0, and I'll straighten these scale Y 0, and I think I'll take those and those as scale in the Y. I'll leave those like that though. Maybe I'll grab these, extrude them in. No, maybe I'll grab these, press I to inset, maybe, and I'll bring them in. I don't know if that's enough of a cut. Get off there. And then do another. I don't know if you like that or not. Let's scale this in the X, flatten it a bit. Rotate this in the X a little bit. I mean, I don't know if you like that or not. That's what I end up with. Let's copy that over here and rotate that in the X. Let's copy them down. Let's do some other stuff. You know. Let's position them a bit. Maybe I'll pull them in. I don't know. Look like they stick out. It's probably a washer there anyhow. but I don't have that. So let's grab all of them and how about Control J? And then we'll do that, and then we'll Shifty, rotate Z 180, and we'll bring them out to this side here. We're not going to see both sides at the same time, so we won't know that the curvature is the same. The angle. All right, so 20,000. Not the end of the world. I think that's it. And put on the shadow just to make it look a little bit. And the matte cap, we'll just use that one. I tend to use that one a lot. Nothing on the back. You know, you could save a lot of time with like a box cutter and hard ops and that, but that's what I'm getting. I don't know if I missed anything. I'm not sure about this yet, so I'm just going to leave it like that. But I'm pretty satisfied with the model as it is. Hopefully it'll fit in the scene with the other stuff. All right, so yeah, that's that. So thanks for watching. See you next time.